Yo, what's good? It's your boy Zoetic, and this is What's in My Bag. Now, before I get started, I guess I should explain what What's in My Bag is. What's in My Bag is a YouTube series created by Amoeba Music. Amoeba Music is a famous record store. They have a couple locations in California, but their most famous one was in Hollywood. It just most recently shut down due to COVID complications, but they got a new location opening up pretty soon, so hopefully I could visit one day. The YouTube series is they get artists to go through the record store and pick out some of their favorite stuff, and then they sit down and explain why it's important to them. So this is my version of that. This is not official. Hopefully one day I could do one. That would be really cool to do a real What's in My Bag with Amoeba. But until then, this is just me showing you guys some cool stuff that I got in my personal collection and explaining the significance of it. So let's get started. First of all, I got a tape right here. This is Dead President's official soundtrack. Yeah, this is a soundtrack from my parents' personal collection here. They had a huge CD and tape collection. This is a cool collection of some dope old school R&B and soul music. It's got Aretha Franklin, Curtis Mayfield, Isaac Hayes, the OJs, the list goes on and on. One of the best soundtracks of all time when that was important. Next up, I got a Reptaliens FM 2030 cassette. I picked this up when I saw the Reptaliens live in El Paso. They're a pretty dope indie rock band from Portland, I believe. And this album here came out in 2017. It's really dope, experimental, weird indie rock shit with some electronic stuff here and there. Really dope songwriting, really incredible band. Next up, I got a CD from Quelle Chris here. This is Being You Is Great. I Wish I Could Be You More Often. I picked this up when he came to Denver here earlier in February before COVID shut everything down. He signed it, did a cool little design on it, so that's pretty cool. This is a dope album that has a lot of features from the who's who of underground hip hop. Really dope stuff here, Quelle Chris. Another cool little thing, Quelle Chris is gonna be on my new album. There's a lot going on, coming out next Tuesday. Next up, I got Aaliyah, One in a Million CD right here. This is another one from my parents' old collection. Really dope album right here. This is probably my favorite Aaliyah album. It's really important because this album is not on streaming services or streaming platforms. It's got production from Timbaland, Missy Elliott writing, songwriting. I think Static Major did some songs on here. This is a really dope album that my parents had in rotation back when I was really young. One of the first R&B songstresses that I really related to. Next up, I got Sade Live here. This is a DVD concert collection of a lot of different performances. I think this is the mid-90s, 94 right here. Sade is another one that my parents were listening to a lot of. Very, very dope instrumentation. The band really was just on some other stuff, man, with the production. And I think they even did their own album called Sweetback that had some cool jams on there. The bass player did some work with Maxwell in the 90s. Sade, really dope band, one of the best. Next up, I got Janet Jackson, The Velvet Rope Tour live in concert, DVD. Janet Jackson is really important to me because when I was really young, I caught an HBO special of The Velvet Rope Tour right here. And I was really just fascinated with how extravagant the production was on stage. You know, I'd never really seen music performed that way. And she's really important, man, not just to me, but to music. She's really the blueprint for a lot of artists that came behind. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, my favorite co-production team of all time, did a lot of her discography. And Janet Jackson, very, very important. Next up, I got a book here. This is The Making of Fleetwood Mac's album, Rumors. This is a really dope book that I'm reading currently. It's written by the engineer, so it's got a lot of just technical music nerd stuff, you know, about recording vocals and tracking instruments and equipment and all that kind of stuff, that real music nerd stuff that I really, really love. Incredible book about an incredible album. Next up, I got some vinyl. I got Stevie Wonder, Hotter Than July right here. Stevie Wonder, one of my favorites, obviously, one of the best of all time. This is one of my favorite albums of his. I think this is a reissue from 2017. I really love this album because it just shows how diverse Stevie is, and a lot of the different sounds that he was really experimenting with, he really just honed in on this album. It's got great stuff. Master Blaster, one of my favorites. One of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs of all time, Rockin' Love. And of course, Happy Birthday, the dedication to Martin Luther King Jr. This song was really important in the push to make Martin Luther King Day a national holiday. So Stevie is really important, not just for music, but his civil rights activism can't be touched. Stevie Wonder, one of the best of all time. He's playing in the background, that's a different album though. And last but not least, I got a Prince Sign of the Times double vinyl right here. This is a reissue. This is probably my favorite Prince album because kind of like Hotter Than July, this album really shows a lot of Prince's different sides and a lot of experimental weird sounds that he was working with, especially in '87. '87, he had his hands in a lot of different projects other than this album. You know, he did a lot of writing for other people and just production for other people. And '87 was a really experimental time and transitional time for him because he just broken up the Revolution. He was starting a new band. He was starting a new sound. He created this album out of like 4 different projects that he was working on. So it's really cool just to hear all the different ideas he has on this album. One of my favorite songs by Prince, The Ballad of Dorothy Parker. This is really important because they're also announcing soon the Sign of the Times remaster and super deluxe edition. Real Prince heads are looking forward to this because, like I said, this is one of his most prolific eras. He had his hands in a lot of different sounds and just artists' music. So it's going to be really cool to hear all of the weird outtakes and ideas that didn't make the album. I'm really excited because Dwayne Tudor is doing another book about Sign of the Times. He did a book about the Purple Rain era studio sessions, and it was really cool because, like the Making of the Rumors book, it's got a lot of real music nerd technical stuff about, you know, just recording the songs and what the songs went through to get to the final process. He also worked on a lot of different projects, not just Purple Rain for that era. That was a really cool detailed breakdown that I'm really looking forward to getting the Sign of the Times treatment. Kind of like they did the 1999 Super Deluxe and Purple Rain Super Deluxe. Really cool stuff, unreleased stuff that Prince heads are really looking forward to. One of my favorite artists. Well, thank y'all for tuning in, man. This has been really cool to show y'all some stuff in my personal collection. I have a new album coming out next Tuesday, June 30th. It's called There's a Lot Going On. This album has been through a lot, you know what I mean? Just this year has been pretty crazy, so this album has kind of been along for the roller coaster. I'm really excited to show everybody just how proud I am of this project. I think it's my best album yet, and I'm really excited to show y'all this album. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Your boy Zoetic. Peace.